I picked the most good-looking guy that I was working with at the time. The person I chose to be in the apartment with. Like, what the fuck? So we are doing this, how I manifested my ex and my current boyfriend. Let me start off this video by saying I have never shared this story before online, but my current boyfriend knows all this stuff. So I have manifested a lot of things in my life before I even knew about The Secret and the Law of Attraction, and also after that. I think I discovered The Secret in 2013, if I'm not wrong. So this story starts with before knowing about it. I was in college. I was living at home. I was a big dreamer. Like, I could just stare into the unknown and dream about my future life, my goals, and accomplishing things. Like, I have a mom that taught me to dream big and that everything was possible. So that, like, I never felt like it wasn't. I remember she was watching Oprah, and then she would tell me, like, dream big, like, you can do anything you want as long as you follow like your passion and your heart. There was only one rule she had, and that is to get a college degree in the Netherlands. So that was like the minimum I had to accomplish. But even with that, I could choose whatever I wanted. So it didn't have to be like a prestigious title or anything, because we were immigrants coming to the Netherlands. So I can totally understand that my mom was like, at least get that piece of paper. But for the rest, she was like encouraging me to follow my dreams and to dream big. I was also raised believing in God. So that meant that miracles could happen. When you believe in something that you cannot see, that's like higher and you can talk to, and that like controls the universe, it's not so hard to believe in miracles when you're raised to believe in that. I feel like when you only believe in the human race and our thinking and science and all of that, you're gonna have a hard time believing in something like manifestation, let alone all the other spiritual stuff. But you know, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying it's gonna be harder to believe in manifestation when it is hard for you to put some sort of power in the unknown or in something you cannot see. But so as I said, I was like a dreamer. I loved being on Pinterest and Tumblr and just like collecting pictures of things that I wanted in my life. And for me, it was more like a fun activity to get inspired for life, not so much of a manifestation activity. Like, I didn't even look at that. I didn't even know about manifestation by that time. So I would have a folder on my computer, and it was called Dreamer. I would just save pictures that I love in that folder from Pinterest or Tumblr. Good to mention is that there was also always a soundtrack, some pop song that was a hit at that moment that I was hooked on and that I was playing in the background while I was looking at these pictures. Also, when I would like dream about things I wanted in life, there was always music playing. So music always helped me to create like a vision, a scenario, a imagination, a visualization, as you would call it now, in my mind about things that I wanted. And I've always had a big dream of living in a city, living in a skyscraper, or like some sort of a penthouse feeling home, apartment, like big windows from top to bottom. That was really my dream. And one day I was scrolling through Tumblr, and I came across this picture of an apartment that I like immediately felt chills around in my whole body. I saved that picture in my folder Dreamer, but for some reason I just couldn't get myself to scroll past it. So I had to look at it, and I kept looking at it. And at that moment, Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga was playing in the background, and I kept looking at that picture while the song was playing and visualizing, or imagining as I would call it back then, myself in that picture, in that apartment. So just like living and having fun. Every time the song would end, like, I don't know, 2.5 minutes or something, I would put it back on because the vibe was just like right for that vision, for that video clip, basically. I wanted to stay in that feeling, and I wanted to like keep being in that apartment in my mind. So I needed to look at it, and the song needed to be playing. I was single at the time, and I really loved the idea of living in that apartment with a boyfriend. So I needed a male character to go with the movie that was playing in my head. This is what I did. And this is something very, 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 very stupid, and I will tell you in this video why eventually. But I picked the most good-looking guy that I was working with at the time. So it was a colleague, and I did not have feelings for him. I just, like, he was the most good looking, but there wasn't like a vibe or something between me and him. Like, I didn't feel something physical or something towards him. I just, like, he looked like a model. He just looked really good. But he was the first person that came into mind, so I chose him as the male character. And the scenario was, I know this is cliche and like the movies and stuff, but it was that we were baking stuff in the apartment. So that was like the kitchen, and I would like visualize me in there, and I was like, oh, I need a male character. I picked my colleague. I put my colleague in the picture with myself in that apartment, baking stuff with flour, like I don't know, bread or cake or something, and the flour would get everywhere. We were having fun and throwing the flour in each other's face, like just like young, happy in love couple in their new home, and just like a movie, but very, very cliche, but just laughing and being silly. That was my video clip. I would say visualization, but it wasn't a visualization, as in I didn't know that that was actually a visualization. For me, that was just having fun in the moment with an imaginary thing, a scenario in my head. And I had a lot of these in my life. Like I had so many things that I would just imagine and think about and just be happy. I don't know. It was like I could also have another life in my head, and I had so much fun doing that. But I can say now that I'm 33, looking back, all of them came true. All of them, like before I knew about The Secret, especially, because it was just a fun activity. There was no outcome attached to that. So let's continue with the story about this guy and the apartment. We fast forward 2 months, and that exact guy, the colleague, caught me off guard one day by saying that he had feelings for me and that he wanted to be in a relationship with me. So I was like, wait, what happened? I didn't think about my imagination or scenario or anything. I was just like caught off guard by that day that he said that. So I was shocked and surprised, and I was like, I never looked at you like that, but yeah, why not? You know, I think I can fall in love with you. I thought like the basic elements were there. Now I just had to like get to know him on a deeper level, and I think it could work. It's also good to mention that before that, I never had a relationship, a boyfriend before. So for me, that was also like new and fun and exciting, and I didn't know, like I didn't have anything to compare it with. So for me, it was like, okay, this can work. Like, not knowing that you should actually have feelings to begin with, maybe. But, you know, I went for it. I'm skipping a lot of parts because I want to get to the point. Fast forward 6 months, and we were looking for a place to live together. I come across this apartment complex that has these big windows, and it's on the 13th floor. It looks like a penthouse. It was my dream apartment. So we applied for it and got the apartment. On the day, we entered that apartment to look at it with the realtor to like see if anything needs to be fixed before we move in. His phone goes off, and it is Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga. That's his ringtone. At that moment, I get chills when I think about it. At that moment, I didn't realize anything about the imaginary scenario, the visualization I had before on the song. I just remember that moment because I thought in the moment, who has those ringtones anymore? And also, like, I would not have guessed Lady Gaga with this realtor. So it was like that's the reason why I remember that moment. But at the moment itself, it had nothing to do with the realization. Like, it didn't click. 1 year later, the relationship ended because of a lot of things. But the main thing for me was that I didn't develop feelings for him after all. And I thought I would or could. You know, it's a long story. And this is sounding really dumb, but I hope you trust that it's way deeper than that. But yeah, the relationship ended, and I am cleaning the apartment one day because I was going to live there for a couple of more months, and then I would move somewhere else. So I was cleaning the apartment, and I come across this hard drive, and I decide to plug it in a computer because I love to see like, ooh, what did I have on this hard drive that I have like not seen for so long? And I see the folder Dreamer, and I get excited because I love looking at those pictures that I saved over years to see like what dreams I had back then and what kind of fashion things I love, because I loved a lot of fashion photos as well. So I open the folder, and the top picture is the picture of the apartment, and I look around and I'm like, oh my God, this is the exact apartment. And in a split second, I have the memory of having to choose someone for that scenario and me picking my best looking colleague at that moment that I didn't have feelings towards. And that also came true. So not only the apartment that I was looking at around me, but also the person I chose to be in the apartment with. Like, what the fuck? And at that point, I haven't realized yet about the Lady Gaga song. Later that afternoon, I go into the mall, and there's like music playing in the shopping center place. And I hear the song Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga. And I freeze in the middle of the shop. or actually, I think I heard it and then I went to the changing room because my heart was racing so fast, and I remember sitting in front of the mirror with the curtain closed. So I was just like, I don't know if I was hyperventilating or something, but all of it comes together in my mind. And by that time, I had already read The Secret. So all of a sudden, I knew exactly what I had put out in the universe a few years ago at the time that I didn't know about The Secret yet, or didn't know about the law of attraction yet. I literally manifested in the most easy and flow state of being because I focused on it intensely in a moment. I had a soundtrack to like lock it in, and after that I completely let go of it. I didn't even think about wanting it because, well, I didn't want to be with him specifically. The apartment, yeah, but I wasn't chasing it like crazy. I just loved playing these scenarios in my head without thinking that that's actually how you manifest. I was just living life after that and being happy little me and not knowing what I had done. So this goes to show that you can manifest everything even if you don't want it. Like, I didn't want to be in a relationship with him, but in my short, intense visualization, I needed him as the male character. So there comes the saying, be careful what you wish for, because it just might happen. So a few years later, I was dating around and I loved going on dates. And there was this one guy that I went on a date with, and we actually became friends at that time. And nothing physical else after that. We used to have dinner together, watch Modern Family, and we talked about a lot of stuff in life, like also who we were dating at the time. And I started to go on some dates with this one guy. I didn't know if I liked him yet, or like I didn't really see myself in a relationship with him. And I was also like having fun dating, nothing physical. I just love interacting with people and meeting them and like talking and getting to know other people. So I really loved that whole process of going on dates and just enjoying spending time talking to other people. So yeah, I wasn't focused on getting into a relationship. At that time, I was also really working hard on my blog because I wanted to become a full-time blogger, and all my dreams in that area of life were coming true. So a relationship was not really on my horizon. I felt like that might mess up the career thing that I had going on. So yeah, I went on dates, get to know people, meeting people and talking to them was where the fun was for me. So one day, my guy friend asked me, "Don't you want a relationship?" And I said, well, you know what? Now that it's summer, I really don't. I like being single in the summer. But when autumn comes around, yeah, sounds good to have a boyfriend and just like be cozy and everything together in autumn. So I went home that day and I made a list of everything I would want in a future boyfriend. Like, I made a list and I wrote down all the specific things I wanted from a future boyfriend that I wanted to have in autumn. And once again, I let go because I wasn't really attached to the outcome. Like, I liked being single and just thought about a boyfriend because my guy friend asked me about it. And I just said like autumn because I was like, yeah, no, not right now. I like being single in the summer. Well, that boy that I was dating at the time did become my boyfriend after all. We started dating in July, and on the 7th of October, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And it's been 7 years since. And yes, he matched everything I wrote on the list. And I even showed it at him. He knows the story. I told him about this as well. And I told him I manifested you. I didn't even like want to. I feel like there's a message in this coming through right now. And the message is try to get to a place where you don't really want something, because that energy is pushing it away. I have to say, since knowing about The Secret and practicing more manifestation skills in my life, the more I know about the things, sometimes it gets even harder. But then I can also imagine that if you weren't aware that things can manifest your thoughts and feelings, that before maybe you had a lot of negative thoughts and negative feelings, and you can like change that. So it's a good thing to know about it. But for me, I always had like really positive and uplifting thoughts and feelings about the future and dreams and goals. So for me, it was fun, but now I can do it maybe more specifically. But I do catch myself sometimes having that needy energy, like, oh my God, I really want this. And then I have to remind myself to get to a state where that feeling can be neutralized a little bit more. And I have some tactics for this that really help me with like getting rid of that energy. But what I also want to mention is I'm 33 now. I have realized that I can be a very powerful manifester. And I think everybody can be a very powerful manifester if they know how to use their energy, their brain, their feelings as well. I think if I would give you one advice is to get more into human design. Human design is based on astrology, but it is more about being an energy type and using your energy in alignment with your energy type. It is truly magical what happens when you align with your energy type. There are 5 energy types. And it's funny, I am the manifester, which doesn't necessarily say that I am the only one who can manifest. Everyone can manifest, but it's just called the manifester. I would also say like I'm the downloader, something like that. It can be confusing because it's called being a manifester. But that is one advice that I would give everyone, so that you're not chasing all the time, but you can align more, because all the energy types have different types of strategy for their life. And a lot of them do not need to chase, because the chasing is like pushing it away. Anyway, before I go off on human design, I could like do a whole video on this as well. But for now, let's keep it at this manifestation story. I actually went to a healer in Bali this year, and the healer basically explained how powerful I am with manifesting. If I have the audio clip, I will insert it here right now.
You have strong power. You do have a strong intuition that you need to work on. Yes. Your power also is easy to get influence the people. Your energy is good, you know. Your power is amazing. You have strong power of the influencer power and intuition. It's very strong, you know. But be mindfulness with your thought. Yes. Whatever you think, you can make it happen, you know. So just this is I just
makes me emotional.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, just think always in a positive way to think.
So yeah, looking back on my life, I basically manifested all the things I wanted. Like I truly wanted things for myself, and I manifested all of those things. And this can also be like a testament towards prayer, because every time I would pray towards God, I would start by listing all the things that I was grateful for, because I was like, yeah, first I need to say thank you, because I do want to ask for things in life, but let me not be rude, and let me just first thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for the food, thank you for my mom, thank you for my health and all of that. And then after that, when I was done with my list of things I was grateful for, that I was thanking God for, I would say, okay, God, I really want this and I really want that. Like I really want a new bike and I want it to be red. And I really, really, really would like it if, I don't know, my mom would buy me these shoes and like stuff like that. And then I would end the prayer with saying, thank you, God, amen. It's literally a manifestation ritual. I did that every night before I went to bed. Sometimes I woke up and I was like, did I say thank you and amen? Like maybe I forgot, and then I would do it again in the morning. Like it's so funny how these things have imprinted in my life, and I am reaping the benefits of it. So yeah, I have so many more manifestation stories, and if you have been following me for a while on my Dutch blog or on my Instagram, I have shared those before. You have seen them, read them, heard them before. The one with the dog, the one with the Taylor Swift song in Mexico, becoming a full-time blogger, all of that. So a few weeks ago, I was like in an unhappy place in my life, and I decided to up-level my life. And that usually goes hand in hand with like writing goals and dreams and visions and being more mindful and intentional with the way I do things during the day. Meditation practice, like I was doing more visualizations, I was making a Pinterest board. So I was also up-leveling my manifestation game with some spiritual practices in there as well. And I started seeing results so quick that immediately I had the thought like, wait, let me share this on Instagram, like in stories, or maybe make a reel. But then I was like, okay, I could do that with some things, but some other parts need more explanation. They're more deeper. I was like, I'm gonna make a course. I have so many courses on health. Why don't I have one on manifestation? Well, like my whole life is one big manifestation story. And the moment I decided that, all these new ideas came flowing into me. Like I was like trying to keep up with typing all of it out for the video. So that is created. I'm very proud of it. The link is below if you're interested. And please let me know if you like these kinds of videos, because I would love to make more of them for you guys. Don't forget to like the video if you like it and subscribe. It really, really, really supports my channel. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and see you next week for a new video. Mwah. Bye.
Sitting thinking in my car, I don't know what we should do. If it never opened up my heart.